Today's grocery haul is to top off my prepper pantry, and I am picking these things up from Kroger because one of the things that I found is that when a grocery store has a sale on fruits and vegetables or other items, and you're able to use their particular store card, like the Kroger Plus card, you can really get a pretty good savings. So let me show you what I got and tell you why I got it. So when I'm talking about a store card, I'm talking about something as simple as your Kroger Plus card, where you can get additional savings on foods that you purchase. And this video was not sponsored. I just happened to shop at Kroger's, and I like the savings that I get when I use my card. And here is the thing. I've been doing some comparison shopping at Target and at Dollar Tree. And if you missed my Dollar Tree haul last week, I will link it with an iCard above and in the description box below. And I also did some shopping at Target. And if you missed that video, I will link it with an iCard above and in the description box below as well. But as you try to build out your 3-month food supply, as you work on developing your extended pantry, it takes time and it all adds up. Particularly if you're a young family and you're trying to build that food supply, you can't rush out and do it all at one time. You've got to build it gradually, and you've got to take advantage of the sales when they are offered. So one of the things that I will be doing is a comparison between Kroger and Dollar Tree. And be sure to stop back or stay around to see that. And we'll dig more into that. But I wanted to top off my preps. And since I had stopped building my extended pantry and started using from my preps, some of my staples were starting to deplete. And then also watching what's been going on in the news, in the world, regarding the various crops. And when there are natural disasters or even man-made disasters, but when we have fires and droughts and flooding and things like that, it affects the harvest that people can either put out and then later bring in, and that affects food prices. So that's one of the reasons why you see food prices right now skyrocketing in the grocery stores. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough of the vegetable staples that we need and a few other things. So one of the things that I picked up was this 4-pack of green beans. We use a lot of green beans in soups, as a side dish, green bean casseroles, shepherd's pie, and different things like that. And you could probably even puree the green beans and put them in smoothies, but I've not tried that. But we use a lot of green beans. And this 4-pack was $1.99 at Kroger, which meant they were just about 50 cents each. Just a quick question. So now these canned goods, are these $1 each, or are they 2 for $1?
No, they're $1 each.
Okay, all right, thank you, just checking. So I'm not gonna get the green beans or sliced potatoes or any of the veggies, because these are all $1 each. I'm thinking I might be able to get them a little cheaper at Kroger. I was at Dollar Tree for my haul last week using a $20 budget, and I did not buy any canned vegetables while I was there because the canned vegetables were $1, whereas at Kroger, with this particular pack and using my Kroger Plus card, they were 4 for $1.99, so just a little under 50 cents each. So that was a better bargain for me. The other thing is I picked up this 4-pack of corn, and if you've been listening to the news, you already know that the corn crops have been compromised in some areas related to either storage or flooding, whatever. There's been an interruption in bringing corn and staples like that to market, so we're seeing price increases in those, and so I picked up 4 cans of corn. And I try to pick up corn and green beans at every regular grocery shopping trip. So I'm not out of these, but I'm not where I would like to be. So I wanted to pick up some of those because they're certainly food extenders. And with the corn, I like to use them when I'm making any of my Mexican themed dishes, as well as in soups and stews and as a side dish. So there's that. And then right here in front, I've got some Petite diced tomatoes. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I like to buy Red Gold. And that's because one of my longtime friends, her husband, works for Red Gold. So I always felt like I was helping to support their family when I would purchase Red Gold products. However, I was really trying to economize on this Kroger grocery haul because the whole purpose of it was to top off my preps. And the Kroger brand of this Petite diced tomatoes was 69 cents. So instead of buying the Red Gold, which was closer to $1.29 or $1.50, or even the Hunt's brand, which was over $1.25, I decided to go with the Kroger brand, which is very, very good. And I picked up 6 cans of the Petite diced tomatoes because I use them in so many dishes. If I'm making chili, if I'm making spaghetti, if I'm making soup, there are so many things you can do with diced tomatoes. So I picked up 6 of those. And then I also picked up some Italian diced tomatoes, and I only picked up 2 cans of those. They were also just 69 cents a can. So I picked up 2 of those. And then I picked up some crushed tomatoes because they're also very good when you're making stews and soups and spaghetti sauces and those kinds of things. And again, they were 69 cents. So I like to have as many tomatoes on hand as possible because they're such food extenders, or shall I say meal extenders. And when the shutdown occurred previously and we couldn't really get out to do anything other than shop for groceries, tomatoes were one of the first things that disappeared off of the shelves. So I wanted to make sure that I had a good supply of tomatoes here in my home. Now, what I was totally out of was cream of chicken soup, what my husband calls those cooking soups. And I've been using from my prep, so I had just simply used them all up. I made a killer pot of chicken and noodles the other day, invited 2 of my sisters over for dinner. And it was just lovely, but it was the last can of my cream of chicken soup that I had. So I picked up 5 cans of the chicken noodle soup. So I picked up 5 cans of the cream of chicken soup. And normally I only buy the Campbell's brand. And I actually had 5 of the Campbell's brand in my cart. But the Campbell's brand of cream of chicken soup was over $1.25, and I thought, okay, I'm really trying to economize on this haul to top off my prep, so I got the Kroger brand, which was 89 cents, as well as 4 cans of the cream of celery soup. And again, it's one of those cooking soups, and I use it a lot in, again, soups and stews, particularly now that Thanksgiving and Christmas is on the horizon. I use these when I'm making my stuffing, my cornbread stuffing, and other dishes associated with that holiday. So looking ahead, planning ahead, you should be picking up this cream of chicken soup and this cream of celery soup now, while Kroger has them at 89 cents. Will they go lower, closer to the holiday season? Who knows? But right now, they're at a good price point. So I encourage you to pick these up now, as well as additional vegetables, because you always have corn and green beans and those kind of things on the table at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So now is the time to pick those up while they're on sale. Yes, there will be additional sales at Thanksgiving and Christmas, but since we're stocking up our preps, we're topping off our preps, or you're beginning to build your 3-month food supply, now's the time to gradually begin purchasing those things. And this is a good time to say that this video is brought to you by Apron Diva, my online apron boutique. Pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory, and the featured apron for this week is this one, and we call it Crystal. And it is one of the products that we got in to celebrate the Christmas season. This little truck has been trending for so long, and it still is. And we just thought it would be perfect for someone to be able to cook in and to entertain in this holiday season. And one of the things you'll note is that it is nice and roomy. The sash ties all the way around me. So for my little larger ladies, this one will work out just fine. Okay, now what else did I get? One of the other things that I got was drinks. Now, you want to make sure that you've got plenty of drinks, liquids in your prepper pantry. And whereas sodas, or pop as we call it in this area, is not a necessity, it is a nice change up from water. So I picked up some of these little minis. Now here's an interesting point. The can or the box of Coke minis and 7-Up minis that I normally like to buy was not available. There were none on the shelf. So I had to buy these little 6-packs of minis, and these were about $3.50 a pack. So $3.50 for the 6-pack of the 7-Up minis, and then $3.50 for the 6-pack of the little Coke minis. And that just again brings attention to the fact that the grocery stores are beginning to have some holes on the shelves, and it's something that we do need to pay attention to and gradually begin to build up our supplies. Okay, so one of the things you want to pick up for your prep pantry is definitely going to be coffee. And let's see, this coffee is a breakfast blend, makes 40 cups, but it's not decaf, and I have to have decaf. So let's see if they have a decaf blend. I don't see a decaf blend here. So that means this coffee is not going to work for me. The other thing that I picked up that's important to me and many others is this container of coffee. When I did my Dollar Tree haul last week, and again, if you missed it, it'll be linked above and in the description box below. They had coffee. It was in very small amounts, but I couldn't find any decaf coffee, so I couldn't purchase any. So I made sure to get this container of coffee at Kroger, and it was $8.99. Now, whereas I usually like to buy the Keurig cups, the K cups, and I'll get the Starbucks brand or the Peace brand or whatever happens to be on sale, it is a little bit pricey. So since I was really trying to pare down, I thought I'll get this Folgers decaf coffee in this container, and then I can make it in my regular Mr. Coffee maker, which I still have. Now let me move this out of the way. Because I want to show you what else I got. And I picked up this carton of Kroger natural spring water, and it was $3.89, and these are the 16-ounce bottles. There's 24 of them. Now here's the thing, I did not want to buy this size. We prefer the 8-ounce bottles because there's little waste, and I tend to like tap water. My husband prefers bottled water, so the 8-ounce bottles just works for us. There were no 8-ounce bottles in the store. All I could find was this size of the 16-ounce, and this was again the Kroger brand. There was a Nestle brand, and there was another higher price brand, but there were no 8-ounce bottles at all in the store, so I picked up one of these. I've been hearing talk that there's been limited supplies of bottled water in the stores, and this just helped to bear that out. I decided to really examine what was going on in the grocery stores in my area to bring that information to you, and I am seeing some store shelves that are not as filled as they used to be, or where you can see things have been kind of moved around to give the appearance of fullness, and they are not, or just outright empty holes. So that tells me that, again, there's something coming down the road. Not sure what, But regardless of what it is, we need to be prepared. And I've been saying this quite a bit lately, and there's a Bible verse that has something to do with bring your foods into the storehouse, something to that effect. And I know I'm paraphrasing it, so those of you that know the Bible better than I do can drop the actual verse in the comment section for me. But right now, the storehouse is your house. You need to be bringing in those foodstuffs and beverages into your house to prepare your family for any possibilities. So when Hurricane Ida hit, those people that had water and foods in their homes that they could just eat out of the can or heat up over some kind of a little small propane gas stove or something like that, were certainly at a better advantage than those people who did not have those things. So I encourage you to be proactive and think ahead and be purchasing those items for your home that your family needs. I approach preparing or prepping from the homemaking perspective, that it is our responsibility as homemakers to bring in the things that our family needs. Whoever's doing the grocery shopping, it's your responsibility to make sure that even though you're buying things on a week-to-week basis, you're also setting aside a little bit of that grocery budget to buy things for your extended pantry or your four corners pantry or your prepper pantry. And I did get a question in the last video about what's a four corners pantry, and I got that term from my friend Mary at Mary's Nest, and I will link her video above and with an iCard below as well, because she does a wonderful series about building out your pantry and things you need to have in it, and it is just amazing. So I'll make sure to link that in the description box below so you can check it out. But a four corner pantry has four pillars. One would be your pantry that you have in the kitchen, like right over there. Number two would be your refrigerator freezer combination that you've got in your kitchen. Number three would be the freezer. So let's say you've got a freezer in your garage or the freezer that's in your fridge freezer combination. That would be a third pillar, would be the freezer. And then the fourth pillar would be your extended pantry, that pantry of foods that you are setting aside, that you're building for the advent of any emergencies, for a rainy day, so to speak. And it's been raining an awful lot lately. So there's that. The other thing that I want to be sure to mention, and I'm trying to remember to say this in every video that I bring you regarding topping off your preps or getting started on your prepper pantry, is this. You are not hoarding, because you are only purchasing foods that you and your family will eat. Now, what are the typical things we expect to find in a prepper pantry or an extended pantry? And I'm talking about foods and beverages right now. You would expect to see stores of water, fruits, vegetables, flour, grains like cornmeal and oatmeal and those kinds of things, but also rice and beans, those kind of foods that you can put on your shelf and they have a long shelf life and you can make meals with them. I remember talking to one of my nieces and I asked her if she had any flour and baking powder, and she said no. She didn't bake and she didn't use baking powder. And I let her know that you need to buy those things, because if you can't get bread in your grocery store, you can make bread or biscuits or muffins or different things like that. So I'm going off on a little rabbit hole right there. So I'm going to stop that particular line. But those are the kinds of things that you want to make sure that you are bringing in. And I've got some videos that talk about the kinds of foods to bring in, particularly one that tells you how to build a 3-month food supply. I'll link it above. And then some other foods and things that you need to have, such as fruits and vegetables and meats and the kind of toiletries and different things like that to bring in your pantry. So I'll link the playlist above so that you can check that out as well. And as I mentioned earlier, with Thanksgiving and Christmas just around the corner, and the family gatherings and family meals we like to have at those times of the year, now's the time to start bringing some of those things into your storehouse as well. So how much did I spend on this particular haul? I spent $44.95. Now this is going to sound kind of interesting, but on one of my last videos, someone made a comment on the number of items that I picked up for the amount of money that I spent. So I thought, well, how many items did I pick up today? And what does it come out to about per item? And I actually picked up, when I counted all of these items, I actually picked up 81 items. And when I divide the $44.95 by 81, it comes out to about 63 cents per item, which I think is pretty darn good when you average it that way. So that means that when I average it like that, this container of coffee came out to be about 63 cents. Now I'm going to redo the math just to make sure I did that right, but it looks like each item cost about 63 cents overall. That's pretty darn good. And it is all relative. For example, if I took this 24 pack of water, which is $3.89, divide that by 24, they come out to be about 16 or 17 cents a bottle when you just do it that way. But if you look at everything that I have here and divide it that way, now each item is 63 cents, which I still don't think is too bad, because if you think about it, this container of coffee, which cost me 63 cents overall, is going to give me 10 or 12 servings of coffee. This can of tomatoes, which cost me, again, about 63 cents overall, is going to certainly give me quite a few servings in some spaghetti or chili or something like that. And I'm starting to ramble. To learn more about building a 3-month food supply, click here. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying you are not done yet. Click on the link in the comment section below and check out another one of my Prepping with Denise videos, and I will see you next time. And don't forget to visit us at www.aprondiva.com.